before we start with our recording. That's what I thought. Let's switch it up and start record. The TheStC was able to take 2 games from NSH. He defeated not only the first contender for NSH, who was able to take 4 games himself. So TheStC defeating Sting, and after Sting he took down Sun. Now there's another player that starts with an S. It is Seal. So we have a Terran versus Zerg with cross position on Entombed Valley. At the bottom right, the Terran player for Team Old Generation StarCraft, and at the top left we have a Seal. He is a Zerg player playing for NSH. The overall score in this clan war right now is 4-2 in favor of NSH, and let's see if Seal is the one person that can defeat the TheStC, or if the run of the Terran player in the blue colors continues on Entombed Valley as well. This is one of the new GSL maps as well. We already had a bunch of new maps now. We had Metropolis in this KSL Clanwar, we had Cloud Kingdom, and this is Entombed Valley, which is also one of the ladder maps that you can currently play in the ladder pool. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how Seal is faring against the TheStC. We have gas for the Terran player, and obviously a very early hedge once again for our Zerg, which is the standard build. You go for the 15 commands, 15 commands, and yeah, that would be kind of funny as a Zerg player. That would actually be really awesome if you could go for a 15 command center. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You actually have to build infestors, you would have to build neural parasite and then start to build the command center. It would actually be really difficult on 15 supply. So, well, obviously he's going for the 15 hatch, and he doesn't get greedy at all. He is immediately building the spawning pool, doesn't try to squeeze in too many drones, and well, he could get away with it, but at the bottom right we have the TheStC now, and we're just upgrading to his orbital command. So let's see what's going to happen on this map. There's a huge area in the middle of the map, as you can see, where you can make good use of Zerg units, where you can try to flank your opponent, and I'm not quite sure which strategy is going to use. Infestors are obviously something that you can employ on Entombed Valley, but you can also just try to play with Mutalisks. Mutalisks are very good on big maps, especially when it comes down to some kind of base race scenario, if you want to harass your opponent, and especially with the locations as they are, you can harass your opponent quite a bit. There's a lot of dead space behind the first base. You can go to the high ground and try to attack the main base as well, but with a decent turret placement, the Terran player can shut down Mutalisks quite easily, but still, Mutalisks are a very good weapon of choice on Entombed Valley, so we might see Seal just try to get Mutalisks as fast as possible. There are a bunch of rocks that connect the second and the third base, and the one thing that is really important if you take the third is that you kill the rocks, because if you don't, a Terran player can harass the shit out of you. It is actually quite annoying when Terran player is able to drop between the third and the main base without any problems at all, and that's another reason why a lot of Zerg players, oh, nice early aggression here by Seal. Well, that's another reason why a lot of Zerg players are just trying to get Mutalisks out into the game so that they can shut down drops. It's a lot easier to do that when you have Mutalisks. With Infestors, it's obviously also possible if you have enough energy for Fungal and Infestor Terrans, but at the same time it's a lot harder as well. So Mutalisks are a very good way to shut down drops, and there are a lot of players that even if they try to aim for the Mutalisks in the late game, that will start with a Spire, will start with a little bit of a Mutalisk tech, just build a bunch of Mutalisks to shut down drops, to harass their opponent a bit, try to go for the control, for the map control, and then switch over into an infestation pit, go for a bunch of infestors so that they can later on use brood lords as well. We might see some kind of tech switch like this, but at the same time, let's not really get out of ourselves. We have already one Spinecrawler in position. There are 2 queens at the bottom, and he needs to make sure that he is in a position where he can block the ramp if need be. So far, there are only 2 Hellions, so it doesn't make all that much of a difference. The Terran player just wants to shut down all attempts of our Zerg to get that third base, to destroy the rocks with the Zerglings, and to spread the creep too far. So the Hellions usually just hover around somewhere over here, which is not the case this time. He's actually went all the way to the back and is now just getting a bunch more of Hellions, the usual 4. That's all there is right now. We have +1, oh sorry, we have speed upgrade, we have more drones, we have the evolution chamber, and he's getting a macro hatch. He is getting a macro hatch right now. And which is also kind of interesting. So both tumors are immediately dead and gone. Both of them, like bush, are gone. Gone in the wind. 39 to 30 harvesters, 7 additional one being added by Seal now, and he has a lot of gas, as you can tell. He's going for 4 gas, he's going for the macro hatch, and he will start tagging in just a few seconds. As soon as he has those 100 gas, he will start his attack, because that's just tons of gas that he is now accumulating. He's going for the Baneling Nest in order to be able to defend against incoming attacks. Getting the +1 armor upgrade and the lair tag, and mining from 4 with speed geysers on 48 drone supply. Bunch of Zerglings just to be safe, already working on the rocks. And what is our Terran player doing? The Terran player in the current game just walling off with the supply depots at the front. In the main base we have 3 barracks, 1 with a reactor, we have the tech lab, you already researched. Stim is now going for the combat shield. 3rd base for the STC, while there is an overlord hovering at the potential 3rd base of the Terran player, just to get a good idea of when the STC is trying to take control of this 3rd mineral line. And more creep being spread by Seal. This is so important for a Zerg player to actually spread the creep, and now we have already 500 Vespene gas banked up. That's the second the macro hatch, and there should be a spire somewhere within a few seconds. And oh, is he going for the infestation pit after all? Oh! Catching all of them! Catching all the Hellions! This was huge! That's a huge deal, and wow, he needs to be very careful. The STC needs to be very careful. He is stimming quite a bit. The spire is being built as we expected. The burrow ability being researched as well, and there's the drop play that we've been talking about, but he's now retreating without the Hellions. This is really risky, so he needs to back up. That was quite the lucky catch by Seal. He did a very good job catching those units. +1 armor is done for the Zerg player from Team NSH. 13 drones are being built while he's researching the +1 attack, and oh god, he's getting into the main. He could have killed those Marines. He could have killed those Marines. The Zerglings are now just running back. We have 1 Zergling, and the Zergling is going to get burrowed as soon as we have the burrow upgrade finished. And what was actually pretty cool is if the Overlord would walk over to this position in order to spread creep, but well, the Marine is going to clean off the Zergling, and the Overlord would die as well. Oh, is he? No. Upgrade, but the attack upgrade is not done just yet. With the attack upgrade, he might have been able to take him down. I'm not 100% sure if a 0-0 Marine would win against 1-1 upgraded Zergling, to be honest. Spire is being done, plus the 3rd base now built for Seal. 100 supply against 110, and as you already know, we have our Zerg player with quite a few drones. He added 13 of them, and that puts him to 65 drones against 49 SCVs. 8 Mutalisks are being built now, and still there were no major engagements in this game. The Zerg just trying to control the map, trying to expand, and the more he expands, especially after he takes his 4th, he has to spread his bases out quite a bit. And with a huge base spread, he needs to build more and more spine crawlers at each of his base, because he wants to be safe against incoming drop play. And that's something that Zerg players often neglect, because they try to be a little bit too greedy. They have tons of minerals, but at some point they will just not build those spine crawlers and spore crawlers that would help them so much. Even if you only build 1 or 2, they will delay your opponent's drops by a bit, so you can actually get into position with your army in order to defend. But if you neglect to do this, then there might be a drop at 2 points on the map, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and you are in the peculiar position that you will lose a lot of drones, maybe even a base, if you don't split your army correctly in order to defend against both drop plays. The Terran player now with the armory and adding factories in order to work on his marine and tank combination. And keep in mind that with the composition that the Seal is using right now, it would be a very good idea to add Thors for the STC. Even if he only adds like 1 or 2 of them, that would help him a lot, because what Seal is going to do over the course of this game is just he's trying to circle his opponent's army with the Mutalisks in order to pick off 1 or 2 tanks, and this is something that is really strong when there is no Thor, because only with the Thors are you able able to make sure that the drop play, that the Mutalisk harass won't be all that successful. As soon as the Mutalisks attack one specific unit, they try to cluster up a bit, and the Thor is dealing a lot of damage thanks to his area of effect damage. So that's exactly what the STC wants. But Seal is doing kind of what we talked about earlier. He doesn't build too many Mutalisks just yet. He has the option of adding more of them, but he is happy with 13, switches into the infestation pit, goes for the hive tech now. Plus one attack is being researched for the flyers nonetheless, so we will see him going for the Broodlord Infestor combination, which is kind of what we talked earlier on already. The Mutalisks give him a chance to be nice, very nice, cleaning those Baneling bombs. Mutalisk could just give him the chance to control the map a little bit, to pin his opponent in his main base. Whoa! Those Banelings here. A lot of Baneling bombs, but those two were not activated. And this push of the STC, I'm not sure if it's going to be all that successful, especially if he waits a little bit longer. Then Seal will have Festus with enough energy for Fungals. Fourth base, he will have to cancel this one. Losing 2 Overlords, supply blocked. Oh, he's going for the run by. Oh no, he's trying to sandwich him from 2 sides. He is trying to take him down from 2 sides, streaming in with everything he has. Oh my god, this is horrible for the STC right now. Look at how everything is getting killed in seconds. Both of them are dropping in supply, but Seal is not done just yet. He chases down every single unit of his opponent, takes on the Medivacs, and wow, this was brutal. Attacking him from 2 sides, Seal didn't leave the STC a chance to dodge those Banelings and Zerglings. Very well done. Upon reaching the hive tech, he immediately starts with the Adrenal Glance upgrade, is now getting the +2 armor as well as the upgrade for his Spire, morphing it into a Greater Spire and getting the 4th and the 5th base at the same time. The STC is in for a lot of pain. He has a huge problem in his hands. He added the Thor that we talked about, +2 attack, +1 armor, and Seal is adding upgrades and upgrades and more upgrades. He has a lot of stuff that drop in the back, will not survive. Yes, he's going in, leading with the Zerglings and picking off the Medivac with his Mutalisks. Wow. The STC just can't put pressure onto Seal. Seal is playing too strong right now, and Adrenal Glands will be done soon. Then he will have Cracklings, and we have +3 attack queued up as well. The first Corruptors enter the game, and it is going to be so hard for the STC to get a 4th base. There are Zerglings in position, so he can start to burrow them, forcing the Terran from Team oGs to use another scan in order to place down this base. The 2 Marines walk over, so yeah, a little bit too late for the burrow just now. Nope! Wow! In the last second he's burrowing it, and 2 free Marines! Christmas! And streaming in. Oh, is he really trying to attack with his force? I don't think he should do it. A small Ling run by into the units of the expansion. Look at this small attack, just forcing the STC to play all the more defensive. A lot of those SCVs get cleaned up. At the same time, our Terran players trying to put aggression onto the Zerg as well, but the Banelings take down a lot of Marines already, even before the main army of Seal arrives. He's building Broodlords now. He's about to complete the +2 armor upgrade and ready to take charge. 200 supply against 160. The 4th base dies. The 5th may die as well. A lot of Broodlords bite the dust. And at the same time, the Terran player is aware that we have a Zerg with a lot of units that is going to charge him head on, which is happening exactly now. And wow, those tanks with a beautiful spread. He is killing a lot, but right now Seal is happy to trade armies, even though the STC did a good job at taking down his 5th base as well. So Seal once again on 3 bases, but he's 60 supply ahead. He is 60 supply ahead, and oh god. Wow, that was quite lucky. He is dodging the Banelings without knowing they're there. Oh my god, that would have been brutal. Just picture all those Marines, like 20 of them being killed by the 2 Banelings. That would have been horrible. Still, It's looking pretty grim for the STC. He needs a huge win, but on the other hand, Seal is not out of it yet. He hasn't won the game just yet. He needs income. He needs additional bases. He's on 3 bases once again, as is the Terran player. He has the better army, but the Terran is going for another attack. Is Seal trying to defend, or is he going for the base trade? The Terran is going to the top left again. Our player from oGs, the STC, he is trying to put the pressure on once more. We have a lot of infestors. In total, there are 9 of them now. Once again, Ling run by, killing more and more SCVs. He did a really good job at harassing the economy of his opponent in this game. In total, we have 30 kills, and the whole position being used to attack. Now, whole position in the middle. Yep, the Lings finally die. No, they actually get burrowed. He needs to use another scan if he wants to kill all the Zerglings. And, well, those Marines are certainly out of luck, as they are running right into a huge army. The Medivac is escaping. There's the main army of the STC, 144 supply against 188. More and more fungals hit the Vikings. And, wow, that's suicidal. All those mutalisks apparently don't value their life all that highly. But we have another run by at the 3rd base. Once more, he's putting pressure onto the STC. And more fungals as well. When the Corruptors now take down the last Vikings, there won't be too much anti-air left for the STC. He's dropping supply like crazy. Has to type GG, and Seal takes the 5th win in this clan war for his team.